How are you? And praise the Lord. I hope this finds you well wherever you are. And I pray that you stay safe and may the Lord protect you and keep you well. My name is Paul Kihiro. I love the Lord for His grace and mercy upon my life. I'm excited for this opportunity just to share with us on this prophet Hosea. Hosea, the name itself, actually means salvation. So you can see even by the name that he was a godly man, probably because of the parents, and of course he came from Israel, which was a very theocentric society. He is also known to be the most humble, or the very one of the very meek prophets that we have in the Old Testament. You compare him with the likes of Jeremiah, who are hard-hitting as they cry to the Lord, or Isaiah. He was quite meek, even as you look at how he dealt with the people. We know that the story that comes out most about Hosea is about the wife Gomer or Gomer. We know that the story, the big picture is playing around Hosea and his relationship with the wife. But before we go to the wife and the whole fiasco about the wife, is to say that the book of Hosea is the first book of the 12 books of the minor prophets. So he's the first one. Originally, the 12 books were actually written in one scroll, and Hosea is and was the first book in the scroll. Even now, in the Old Testament, is actually the first book of the minor prophets. And he's compared in many ways to the likes of Jeremiah, the likes of Isaiah, mainly because of the kind of challenges he encountered and how he dealt with them. He's believed to have been a prophet, or rather a priest, mainly because of how he grasps the religious matters in the northern kingdom. By the way, Hosea operated in the northern kingdom. Northern kingdom, we mean what was called the kingdom of Israel, as opposed to the southern kingdom, which was formerly known as the kingdom of Judah. So he operated in the northern kingdom. Now, being a minister or a prophet in the northern kingdom was no mean task. It was no joke. It was very, very difficult. It was very demanding. And one of the reasons it was very demanding is that there were many wicked kings in the northern kingdom. And if the king was wicked, now consequently or inevitably the people became wicked, mainly because the king was playing a bigger role, not just the political, he was also spiritual, he was also a prophet or a priest in many ways. And so people would just follow the king. And so because of the wickedness of the kings that he served under, the whole society was wicked. And therefore he had a very difficult work. Some of the kings he served under, I should say, he must have, it is believed that he took over just before the end of Jeroboam II. And then after Jeroboam II was Menahem, who ruled for about 10 years. And then there was Pekahiah, who ruled for about 1 year. And there was Pekah, who ruled for 8 years. And then Hosea for 10 years. Now, these regimes are very short by the standards of those days. Most of the times, or the kings, would rule for 30 years, 40 years, including some would go all the way to over 50 years. At least there is one who ruled for over 50 years. So for these kings to rule for 1 year, 10 years, 8 years, that was very small or short in the standards of the day. And why is that the case? It's because of the wickedness of the kings, there was even the murder of kings or assassination of kings, and so the turnover of kings was very high. And of course, when they became wicked, God handed over them to be attacked by the enemies, and so some of them were actually killed by the enemies. And so that is the environment that our brother was operating in which was not an easy environment, given that he needed to tell the people about God. But the main message that Hosea, or we see in Hosea, or the big issue, is actually playing around the wife, who was a harlot, who was a prostitute. And apparently it is God who orchestrates this drama, tells Hosea to go and marry such a wife who is unfaithful, and God actually tells him she'll be unfaithful, she'll go out, she'll sleep out, and God is using this drama to speak to his people. Quite amazing. Not a very easy place to be in for those who understand what it means to be married in a faithful marriage setup. And so God uses all this. So what is this about the wife? The wife, who is unfaithful, goes out and does all what she does, but God is making Hosea to follow and pursue the wife. And so the issue is the unfaithful wife, a faithful husband, the wife who goes out and leaves the husband, a faithful husband who pursues the wife and then brings her back home, which is the picture which God was painting for his own glory and for his own people to know and understand of the relationship he had with the people of Israel. They were unfaithful, they were ungodly, they were going out to look for help from elsewhere to worship other gods, but then they will come back to him when things are thick. And the picture is God will not abandon his people even in their unfaithfulness. He will look for them. And therefore, we see, consequently, the picture of Jesus Christ in the whole drama of Hosea. And the picture of Christ is seen in this, that God is the one looking for us. Though we are always running away from him, and most of the times willingly, and we don't want anything to do with him, but God is looking for us. That's exactly what we see happening between Gomer running away from the husband and Hosea looking and pursuing the wife to return her back home or to the family. That's exactly the thing that was happening between God and the people of Israel, always looking for them so that they may come back. So that is the picture. And the setting was the many kings that were not godly, not very honest people, not committed to the ways of God. And as you go through the book, you find Hosea repeating many times for the kings to come back, the people of Israel to return, and not to look for help elsewhere, because help is only in God. As we read this book, you're going to see the very image, the very picture of Jesus Christ and the love of God as depicted in how God was dealing with the people of Israel, and even in the relationship between Hosea and the wife Gomer. May you enjoy this book, and may the Lord bless you even as you go through this book. Thank you, and God bless you.